Shall we start the presentation?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah. So
Just 30 minutes.
so today's topic is about how to choose the land and how to select the soil for the commercial moringa farming, whether it's for the seed production or for the leaf production. So the first question comes to the how to choose the soil. The first condition is soil has to be very good with the water drainage. So that's the first condition. So you could choose red loam, red sandy loam, clay loam, or sandy loam soil, or any soil that is not being shown over here. But then make sure your soil is very good with the good water drainage. Moringa does not like water at all. Water logging should not be there. It should not be flooded during the monsoon or during the rainy season. So make sure the land or the soil that you are choosing is very good with the water drainage. The water should not be stopped there. So that's the first condition. The second condition when you have to choose the land is the depth of the soil. Now, if you're going for the seed production or the pod production, the depth of the soil should be between 1 feet to 3 feet. There is a reason behind it, and we'll come to that later on. But then, if you're going for the seed production or the fruit production or the pod production for the flowering, the depth of the soil should be between 1 feet to 3 feet. It should not be more than 3 feet. If you're going for the leaf production, you can go for 3 feet and more than the depth of the soil, you can go for the more than 3 feet soil. The reason behind this is uh, you see that for the flowering, for the fruits to produce or the seeds to produce, the flowering has to happen, and for the abundant flowering, the plant or the tree has to go through water stress. If your soil is beyond 3 feet, for example, say if it is 7 feet or 10 feet, your plant will not go into water stress because roots will keep drawing the water, or they will keep absorbing the water from the depth of the soil, and plant will not go in stress. If the plant does not go in stress, it will not produce enough flowers or the fruits, or it will not even produce single flowers. It will only have a good vegetative growth, that means branching, and it will produce leaves, not the flowering. That is the reason when you choose the land for flowering or for the fruiting, basically for the seed production, make sure the soil has a good water drainage. And the second condition is the depth of the soil. It should not be more than 3 feet. For the leaf production, this condition does not apply. You can choose the well water drained soil, and the depth of the soil can be more than 3 feet, because all you need is a vegetative growth. You do not need flower. The plant does not need to go through uh, plant does not need to go through stress, because you are going for the leaf production. All you need is more number of leaves, more number of branching. So this will help you during the summer when you do not have enough irrigation facility, when the temperature is high and the water level depletes in the soil. If you have a soil uh, of the depth beyond 3 feet, say 3 to 10 feet, your plant will still absorb or draw the water from the deep soil, and it will still be able to produce leaves and more number of branching. So that's how you, these are the two conditions. So this is another slide that shows that uh, the white root, the roots that actually absorbs the water and the nutrients, are mostly spread during the first 2 or 3 feet. So the water or the fertigation that you give, make sure that you give during first 2 feet, not beyond that. After 2 feet, the water will not absorb nutrition. Yes, when there is no water availability during the first 2 feet, it will draw water from the depth of the soil. So this will help in leaf production, not for the pod production, because if you have too much depth, if the soil depth is more than 3 feet, the plant will not go in water stress and they will not produce flowers. So this is a summary how to choose the land. So first you need to choose the type of the soil, whether the type of the soil is good water draining soil, red sandy loam, clay loam, or sandy loam soil. If this is a type of soil, or any soil which is not written here, but it has a good water draining, you can choose that soil. The other thing is, if the soil is poor water draining soil, you think the water logging happens during the rainy season, or it gets affected during the flood or something like that, do not choose this type of soil. This soil is not at all suitable. Something like compact soil, heavy soil, or clay soil is not at all suitable for leaf production or for pod production. Both of them, it will not suitable. What happens is, the clay soil or the heavy black soil, it will hold the water for a long time. So the plant roots will simply sit too long in the wet condition. Your plants will start dying, your roots will start rotting, and you see that leaf will start turning yellow. So you will not be able to produce good quality of leaf if the soil is not good water draining soil. So once you know that you have chosen the good water draining soil, the next question is the depth of the soil. Check the depth of the soil. If it is from 1 feet to 3 feet, it is good for the pod production or for the seed production. And for the leaf production, go for the soil which has depth 3 feet and more, so that you could take the leaf production for more than 10 years. You just sow it once and you still be able to take the leaf production for more than 10 years if you have a very good depth of the soil and the soil is the water draining soil. So these are the basic conditions while you choose the land for the moringa production, for the leaf or for the seed production. The next is how to choose the right sowing time. There are three conditions, three questions that you can ask yourself. First of all, first one is, what is the temperature? If the temperature is between 25 degrees Celsius to 37 degrees Celsius, it is the right time to sow. Second question or second condition is, you need to avoid heavy and continuous rainy season, because if it is raining continuously, if it is raining heavily, your plants will simply die, they will not grow well, they will turn yellow, or root rot will happen. So you need to avoid these seasons where there is a heavy and continuous rain in your field. The third condition is, you need to avoid immediate winter season. Suppose December is a winter season. If you see that the temperature in the November temperature is 25 to 37 degrees Celsius and it is not even raining, so these two conditions are fulfilled. But then if you think that within next 15 days or 20 days winter will start and the temperature will go down beyond 20 below 20 degrees Celsius, you need to avoid immediate winter season, because your plant will need 2 to 3 months, at least 2 months, to grow, to produce enough number of leaves, to produce enough number of roots, and to produce enough number of leaves to sustain. So during that time, if the temperature is not good, if the winter comes, then it will affect the growth of your plant. So simply avoid sowing during the right before the winter. So you need to ask these questions, and these three conditions needs to be fulfilled in order to know what is the right sowing time. Check the temperature, what is the temperature, Is it between 25 to 37 degrees Celsius? Is it gonna rain, heavy rain and continuous rain? Moderate rain is still okay if you have a good drained soil. So temperature is okay. It's not raining and the winter is still far away, 2 to 3 months away. Then it's the right temperature or the right sowing time. So these are the three questions. These are the three main conditions on which you can decide it's the right sowing time for you. Next thing is the distance, the layout or the mapping. What distance should you choose? Before you choose any distance, remember this thing. In order for the plant to produce food, they need enough sunlight. Who produce the food in the plant? Leaves produce the food, so they use the sunlight as an energy, as an fuel, and they do the photosynthesis activity and convert all the energy, the water and the nutrition taken from the soil. They convert everything into the nutrients that we know, protein, calcium and micronutrients and all those things. They convert all these things during the photosynthesis activity. But for the photosynthesis to happen, every leaf of the plant has to expose to the sunlight. So for example, if you choose the distance which is very dense and the sunlight does not reach to the leaf, or leaf is not exposed very well to the sunlight, it will not produce good amount of nutrition in the plant. It will not produce more number of branching. It will not produce more number of leaves, and leaf quality that you are going to harvest will not be good. Your leaves will start turning yellow, or your leaves will start turning, the other shades of the green, which are not the dark green or something like that. That is simply because the sunlight is not very well absorbed by the leaves, because it is too dense. There are branching and the leaves are just into each other. So you need to make sure, before choosing any type of decision, you need to make sure that the sunlight should fall on each and every leaf, so that plant is healthy. They produce more number of leaves, they produce more number of branch. The leaf quality itself is very good, so that when you harvest and when you process that leaf, you will get good quality, good color of that leaf, and the nutrition quantity, or it will be dense with the good nutrition, because the photosynthesis was happened very nicely. So photosynthesis has to be taken care of. The sunlight has to reach on each and every leaf. So for that, I have recommended some distance for the seed production. Especially you can go for the row to row and plant to plant distance has been given, like 10 feet row to row distance and 8 feet plant to plant. You can as well go for the 12 by 8, 10 by 10 or 12 by 12. Number of plants per acre that you will require is 400 to 500 plants. Do not try to accommodate too many plants in a very small area, because as I told you, plants need sunlight to do the photosynthesis. If they are not able to capture the sunlight, they will not be able to produce enough number of flowers. They will not be able to produce enough number of fruits. So planting more number of trees does not give you more yield. So you will have to look into all those things. For the 400 to 500 plants, the number of seed required is 800 seeds, because normally the standard germination rate is 70%. So for you to have 400 to 500 plants, you need 800 seeds, so that at least 400 to 500 plants are germinated. So that is for the seed production. For the leaf production, you have multiple number of choices, where you can go for the line to line distance, 6 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet or 12 feet, and in between you can also plan intercropping. And every after 6 feet you can have two rows, like 2 feet between the line and 4 feet between the plants. So every after 6 feet you have two lines, and in the two lines you can have the distance of 2 feet by 4 feet or 2 feet by 6 feet, or 2 feet by 8 feet, something like that you can plan. This is a distance where you will be able to expose all the plants, expose expose all the leaves to better sunlight, which will give you more number of branches, which will give you more number of leaves. So that will ultimately boost your productivity, and your end produce or the yield will have a very good quality. So this is all about the today's topic or the presentation.